the interactive Magic that's about to be played, thinking about how they're going to play around things, probably just largely ignore things. Hive Mind and Seek and Show, and the LA area. Now that we're in Las Vegas, 4.5, 5-hour drive, whatever. But a lot of the LA people, Weston included, made the trip down, and like I've said before on the show and others, a very combo-oriented group of people. Yes, so not surprising.
In terms of legacy,
yes.
I mean, I much prefer a legacy that's all combo decks than a legacy of all Maverick decks.
Well, yeah, it's a. I like to have a little bit of combo in the room because you don't want to feel like people have the kid gloves on, but running into combo deck round and round is probably just not it's not engaging Magic over and over again.
I mean, I guess different people can have different perspectives on things. I feel like you walk into a room to play Legacy. Legacy is essentially the gamut of all Magic.
Yes.
And when you have the gamut of all Magic, you have a critical mass of awesome cards, right? That's it.
Yes.
I think that the only grown-up way to approach it is that you're going to face combo decks and Force of Wills constantly. Like, it's almost like an insult when you're playing against, like, some dirtily 1/1s that get a tiny incremental advantage. Like, that's not the way the entire gamut of Magic should be described when you're actually approaching critical mass in every direction, right?
Sure. I mean, what I enjoy most about Legacy tournaments when I have the best time is usually when I'm playing against a little bit of everything. Just want to get the full gamut of experiences. And that's what makes Legacy, the most fun. It's not entirely fair to say like the 1/1s have no place because there's some matchups where those 1/1 utility guys are actually quite good. Like the person who's devoting all their resources to...
Forget about the idea of matchups, okay?
Okay.
Matchups is kind of like this illusory thing that exists because there's a metagame, right? But if the metagame is not representative of what the actual gamut of the experience could be, then you're just like starting on a false assumption. I understand there's a tournament structure, right? And that people are limited by certain things like how many cards they own. But if you really wanted to step back for a second, you're like, what are the most powerful things that people can do? The answer is highly unlikely to be playing fair.
Well, power level's
not playing with Force of Wills.
But power level's all contextual. All that matters is from matchup to matchup. Power level is two very different things. Like how powerful is Searing Blaze? It's like, well, that depends on the cards surrounding Searing Blaze and what the opponent is up to. That determines how.
Oh yeah, sure. Searing Blaze is horrendous against these decks, right?
Yeah.
It's quite good against. I mean, the kind of deck that you typically like to play seems like it would chomp on these bug. I hate even hesitate to call them control decks, like these
bug card decks, like card decks, decks of cards.
I mean, like they have like entire suites of cards that say, "Pay some amount of mana, hurt myself." Like,
yeah.
So, Searing Blaze is good against their little 1/2s, and Price Progress is good against their mana base, and Flame Rift is a card that you might cast.
I'll have you know that Flame Rift was instrumental in me beating Weston at the LA Open a couple months ago. So, take that, busted Hive Mind deck.
And yet you've never beaten a Storm.
Oh, not even close. Never even close.
God forbid somebody Force of Wills your first turn.
All right, finals is underway, and we're looking at a hand.
Oh, Gitaxian Probe.
We have Show and Tell, Ponder, Force of Will, Repeal. I can't see it. Gristlebrand.
Ponder, Show and Tell, Repeal, Force of Will, Gristlebrand, and then 2 lands.
Volcanic Island and Misty Rainforest.
So is that 2 total mana?
Yeah.
Well, he's got Ponder.
Very solid hand.
And Show and Tell is highly dangerous for either player to cast, I think.
Yes. I think it's way more dangerous for Richard to cast because he can't kill Weston that turn, and then Weston probably untaps and kills him because Hive Mind's in play.
He doesn't have to untap. Like, Hive Mind's in play. Pact of the Titan,
Well, no, you would die.
You would die
he has
yourself,
to untap first. But. So, Ponder from Richard. Looking at it, he actually
Ancient, is that Ancient Tomb?
Yeah, Ancient Tomb, which is a potentially huge draw here.
Misty Rainforest.
As it allows Richard to go off on the second turn. If he's willing to run the Show and Tell gamut.
Well, he doesn't have Gitaxian Probe, right? I think what you were saying previously about blue-based combo decks and Legacy might be true. Like, just having Gitaxian Probe cover would tell you if you can cast Show and Tell.
Yeah. And it's not like it costs you anything to put it in the deck.
No, it's good. It's like a bad Ponder.
Yeah.
In fact,
or a good peak, whichever.
When they were concurrent, people played 4 of each a lot of the time.
Yeah.
In decks that attacked.
They were correct to do so, also.
So how do you feel about Weston's basic lands?
I like it. A little bit of style. I like a little bit of flair.
I don't like playing different arts.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
You give up so much edge against observant opponents. Like, it's...
So much is a stretch. Also, it's like when you're playing Hive Mind, it's like, well, the game's only going to take 2 or 3 turns anyway, so it's hard to spew off too much value, you know? It's not like the game's going 12 turns.
Like 20 minutes ago, you were chanting to yourself, like, every edge, every edge.
Yeah, but this matchup.
Now we're in the finals of the Open. We don't need any edges anymore.
This is not figuring out a way to trade your Thragtusk the best. This is not what these decks are up to. It's, you know. What I also really like about Legacy is watching people play their decks and just based on, you know, the foils and the black border duels, who's like passionate about their deck and who's playing the cards. Like Richard is probably this is not his first tournament playing this deck, almost certainly.
So City of Traders. These guys like their double lands, huh?
Yeah.
So Brainstorm cast off of Volcanic. Oh, so are some of those Volcanics black borders?
Yeah, those are 4 and black bordered.
Yeah, Legacy's a different place.
Yeah. It is. The place where time stands still.
Kind of. I mean, like... I think I'm going to switch to all Ice Age lands after this weekend.
I like an Ice Age land. Just
I think... Like
Ancient Tomb? Is someone finally going to take a non-cantrip action here? I mean, yeah, Richard could just go for it. He could just try to get his...
I mean, he could have tried to go for it a little while ago as well.
All right, looks like we're going to show and tell Sneak Attack into play. So we have mana to float or something. Oh, pedaling. Okay.
Show and tell.
Dangerous business.
So if it is Sneak Attack, there's quite a few ways to activate it, yeah?
Yes.
Weston sacrifices Polluted Delta. Probably gonna need a basic island, the way he's been playing. Here's hard cast Force of Will.
Maybe. It would explain wanting to get the 5th land there. It's some dangerous business knowing that Richard has copies of Daze in his deck.
I think hardcast Force of Will looks like the proscribed play.
Well, yeah, sacking the Delta implies that's where he's killing, but... Alright, looks like it's happening. Emrakul. Sneak attack.
So Gristlebrand to his doom. I guess Gristlebrand. So Gristlebrand can draw 14.
Presumably find a copy of Emrakul.
2 Emrakuls. Emrakul play 1. Legend rule at 2nd Emrakul.
Yep.
Kill Weston.
And this is why Richard decided to show and tell the sneak attack into play because he couldn't afford to spend another red mana when he was trying to combo off this way.
Exactly. Just passing? No.
7 more. He found an Emrakul, so he can at least legend rule.
So you can legend rule attack for 7.
Yeah, at the worst. And if he finds another copy, then...
You can just play some more petals. He doesn't have to lose them. Yeah, so gaining a bunch of life is good.
Ponder looking just for something else to seal the deal here.
It'd be hilarious if Weston just played like Pact of the Titan, paid for it, got him for 4. That would be the most hilarious, I think.
Weston does not look like a confident man here. Hard to be, I guess, given the circumstances.
What, his opponent's just drawn 14 cards? What was the old rule? If you draw 10 more cards than your opponent, you don't win. You're
Just cracking a pedal to ponder.
What is that? Gristlebrand again? What's the blue card?
I think that was a Flusterstorm.
And draw an Emrakul? Far be it for me to point this out, but at the point that he found the Emrakul, shouldn't he have just played it so that he could shuffle that particular Emrakul back into his deck?
Sure.
Which would actually increase his chances of drawing
Yeah.
additional Emrakuls with further Gristlebrains and Ponders.
Yes.
Like, instead of waiting so long to find 2 Emrakuls. It is one of the bonuses of having Sneak Attack. I mean, I doubt very much that at this stage Rich is going to have a hard time beating Weston.
Yeah.
Unless Weston just... I mean, we've seen Weston play previously. He's probably just going to draw a Hive Mind.
Well, I think Richard's hand's going to be like,
all Force of Wills.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of counter spells.
And...
Yeah, I mean, he still needs one more piece of gas to actually finish the job here, but he can actually just keep a hand of a bunch of counters.
He has another... I believe he has another Gristlebrand in his hand. Does he even need to do it now? He's going to deploy the Gristlebrand next turn anyway, isn't he? Oh, just to get a pedal? So, get rid of that. Make some piles of cards to keep and not keep.
Yep. So I'm going to keep a hand that's just flush with counters. And yeah, I mean, his hand is totally loaded. And there they all go. Gristlebrand is a big merfolk looter. All right.
That's it. All right. All right.
All right, fine. So, not only do we have the finals
I got
kicking
one.
around here, I got one too.
All right, you go.
Mine's pretty good. We have a trivia question. For a full year of SCG Premium,
A year.
as we're wont to do in our last match of both the standard and
365
5
days.
the full 365.
12
We have two blue-red-ish. One's blue-red, one's blue-red-ish. Combo decks in the finals, both of which are built around the same, in part by the same 3-mana blue sorcery from Urza Saga that facilitates cheating certain permanents into play. For one full year of Premium, name that sorcery. So hashtag your answer to SCG Premium. One lucky winner will be drawn and will receive a full year of Premium. Onto the sideboards. Oh, to repeat the question for some people who
We're just not paying attention for those 10 seconds.
what 3-mana blue sorcery is used by both decks to cheat?
Both decks in the finals.
Both decks in the finals, yes.
To cheat certain permanents into play.
Be it Hive Mind,
Emrakul,
Emrakul,
Aeon's Torn,
yeah,
or Sneak Attack,
what have you.
Grim Monolith. Lotus
Petal. Sideboard time. What do we got here? I got Weston's deck in front of me. He's got Flusterstorm, which is not particularly good here because he's fighting over an enchantment for the most part. Not, I mean, maybe Show and Tell's a thing after board, but not really. He has a Volcanic Island and a red Elemental Blast. I would assume he wants access to. Really surprises me. This is sort of tangential here. It sort of surprises me that Weston is willing to use a sideboard slot on a Volcanic Island instead of playing a Volcanic Island main and having, say, a second red blast on the board. I understand you open yourself up a little bit more to Wasteland.
His deck's full of Wasteland targets.
Yeah, but it's hard for me to believe that that's the correct way to break down your sideboard. I feel like you should just have the Volcanic in the main.
Let's look at his mono base. 5 Island, 1 Misty, 1 Scalding Tarn, 1
It's a bunch of
Flush.
Feshes and then Ancient Tomb and City of Traders.
And just 5 islands?
Yeah.
So he's just got like one total volcanic island and one total red blast.
Yes.
So he can't even pay for pact in game 1.
Correct. Although that like basically never comes up.
I'm sure it's come up.
Maybe in
I
the
mean,
mirror.
not for him.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, sure.
I've actually like, I've lost a hive mind before where my opponent just cast a pact in Titan and
Sure.
you know, like we were just playing some attrition fight and
Yeah.
I killed his hive mind or whatever. Just pact in Titan.
On the other side of the table, it looks like Richard actually has a much better sideboard for the matchup. He has
Spell Pierce.
a bunch of red elemental blast.
Yeah, those are really strong.
And Through the Breach. We've seen this card, you know, in the sideboard before. My speculation is that it's primarily for show and tell mirrors, because you would ideally like to cut your show and tells. It's a pretty big liability, and you can just Through the Breach one of your fatties through.
Richard used show and tell to great effect in that game.
Yeah, but it's still it's a dicey proposition. I would suspect you don't want to lean on that card.
So let's imagine that rather than Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, that Weston had shown back a hive mind. Richard, I think, at that point could have played, if he had played an Emrakul and attacked, would have had just enough Annihilator to take out all of Weston's lands and the hive mind, which probably would have put him in a position where he couldn't really go off with pacts.
Yeah, but the risk is if Richard has Gristlebrand and Weston puts in hive mind, that puts a lot of pressure on Richard to win the game on the spot.
Yeah,
he has to win the game on the spot.
Well, he would have just been able to drop into Emrakul because Weston, of course, put in Emrakul, not hive mind. Right,
Yeah.
that Emrakul would have been, you know, how big is Gristlebrand? 7?
Yeah.
7 plus 15, 22. That's
Yeah, but you still have to draw your extra red mana plus your Emrakul and like the 14 cards that you see with Gristlebrand, which you know it's good odds, but it's
very
not,
good odds.
It's not a lock by any stretch.
So Weston torched through his top 4 match, right?
Yeah, I mean Jill was staggering out of here in like 10 minutes. So yeah,
So Weston's going to be going first.
we saw him do the same thing to AJ in the top 8.
Yeah. Doesn't look like he likes that hand. It's very, very deep in thought. Why don't people smile on camera? I mean, like, if I were playing in the finals, I'd be so overjoyed.
I don't know. You've come along. When you come a long way, it's just often you're just locked into the moment.
Yeah.
You're not smiling because it's like I'm in the finals. It's just I'm here now and I want to win and this means something. So no smiling. Also, smiling is just pretty
Awesome.
bad. Just pretty bad in general. So both
the
players
best.
taking a mulligan here.
So this mulligan favors Richard probably, right? He's going second.
I don't know. It depends whose deck is a little more redundant. I mean, I think
Richard's deck's way more redundant.
yes, yeah.
Weston's deck is like a lot of unique pieces.
He also has like packs.
Which
are
are
just-
just random cards that just do nothing unless he's already got like the other half.
Yeah, Pact of the Titan, Summoner's Pact.
Like, so many different things catalyze a Gristlebrander and Emrakul in Richard's deck, right?
Yeah.
You could show and tell it, you can Through the Breach it, you can sneak attack it, versus like a Pact is just useless unless you have Hive Mind already in play.
Right. Both players looking at 6.
Richard sounded cracking a little bit of a smile.
Yeah. Listen, if I was ever calling people all day long, I'd probably be pretty happy. It seems fun. I watch it. It seems okay.
Weston does not like this hand either. Keeps it though. All right, Polluted Delta.
Volcanic
Richard,
Island.
Volcanic.
Lotus Petal.
So what's the operations there? Why do you just like run a Lotus Petal on that turn? Is it likely to get Spell Pierced?
It is if Weston has Flusterstorm, you do not want to add to the storm count.
Okay.
You'd rather just get it in play. Maybe not that turn necessarily, but definitely before you want to take an action.
So
Well-
Richard looks like he has Emrakul, right?
Oh yeah.
So Brainstorm. He's got the Sackland to pair with it.
Yep. Weston's stuck on Delta plus City of Traders.
Richard, nothing but Force of Wills.
Yeah, a lot of gas.
1, 2.
He might not even be willing to break this fetch line. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think it would.
His hand's too good.
Wait a second. Now I'll break it.
Yeah. We might just be going for it.
He has an Emrakul. But I mean, look, Emrakul here isn't a decisive win by any means.
No.
So,
Ponder. Okay. I was going to say, show and telling right here seems a bit too aggressive given how good his hand is. And
another Force of Will.
He can just die.
So he's drawing that. And he seems willing to not have an additional land drop.
Yeah.
So Weston breaks his Polluted Delta, gets a basic island.
Wonder if this means we're going to be seeing maybe an intuition at the end of the turn.
He's got the 1 intuition, right?
No, Weston has 3. Richard has 1.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong deck list.
Yeah. Oh, easier. So you have
the one that's
on the left side. Yeah.
You have the one on the other side. Okay.
I think we're still on the end of Weston's turn here, figuring out if he's going to
tanking or whatever.
Cantrip, intuition, what have you. No, we're okay.
That's painful.
Yep.
Just no value at all out of that City of Traders.
Oh, we just drew through the breach.
He doesn't have the mana for it, though.
Yeah, we're missing.
But a double land would, you know.
Yeah, then we would be going through the breach.
Weston's doing a little work for him. So, let's see. What do we need? 2 more sack lands, so that could put him to 17. You don't get those life back.
Yeah, which are just discarding.
Oh, so Weston's saying, don't discard, please, Richard. I'm going to sacrifice these 2 lands.
Do something here.
Get some islands. Ooh, he's got the volcanic island.
Also, if your one volcanic is a black bordered one, you should I mean, that's if you're on the fence, that's got to be the tiebreaker, right? There's just no way you leave that in the sideboard.
Like you said before, you're no combo master.
Yeah, I guess
you don't
not.
know how to make the deck.
I did play a little bit of Turboland in my day. I enjoyed that.
Really?
Deck. Yes, I did.
Of all the combo decks I thought you might play, that's not the one I would have picked.
If you're going to take some turns, you might as well take all of them.
All the turns?
Yeah, I want all of them.
I never really understood how Turboland worked.
Yeah,
it's just like, it's Horn of Greed and Exploration, right? And then past that, I got no clue. Gush? You had Gush?
Yeah, oh yeah. So neither player really doing too much.
Brainstorm.
Weston's going to brainstorm here. Richard's been discarding for a couple turns now. So
Force of Will. Something else.
And I feel like Weston can be a little more aggressive about going for his own show and tell, since it is just a kill if it's hive mind.
Yeah, I mean, Richard's got a lot of Force of Wills, right? So Weston might have to fight through 3 Force of Wills.
Yeah, but I think he's also happy if his
discards
show and
his hand. Yeah.
Well, yeah, if his show and tells are inducing the
oh, it could
just
be like a Masashioe, so
yeah,
Horn's Chant might be nothing on the other end of it. So Weston puts back 2, puts Brainstorm in the graveyard, and then just lays it. So is that all of his lands? He's got 5 islands, right?
Richard pumping the fist, finally finding a 4th land. Still nothing to do.
So 4 islands, volcanic.
Some draw go from these 2.
Richard could be playing like.
All right, here we go.
Tap out blue. Okay, through the breach probably.
I think it's time. I mean, the odds of it resolving seem fairly low, but
no, Richard has 3 Force of Wills.
Weston's got a full grip. I mean, he can't Force a Will 3 times if one of his cards is through the breach and the other one's Emrakul. He's only got 5 leftovers at that point. Yeah, he's got 3 Force of Wills and 2 blue cards, so. We'll start there. All right,
Force
we're
will.
fighting over this through the breach.
With show and
Our
tell.
first gunfight.
And force
back.
again. It's actually a little bit dangerous because it just put Weston to 15. Or sorry, 16.
And he has the final force. That's going to stop the through the breach. So yeah, Weston was able to fend off that.
But I believe that puts Weston down to 15, right?
Yeah, but he was able to stop through the breach. He had 3 force of wills to stop it. Now it's Weston
time for passing.
So we're still at
another through the breach. Sneak attack, show and tell.
we have Flusterstorm, Brainstorm, and Emrakul in hand. It looks like on Richard's head. Weston still just draw going.
Richard pulls
Another Emrakul.
One-time dealer. I dealt it to myself. It wasn't the one time.
Brainstorm for Richard. Both players being pretty patient with their cantrips here.
I mean, what do you mean by patient? Like,
well, Richard's been sitting on a Brainstorm for a while now.
He only has 2 through the breach, right?
Yeah.
Is that Ancient Tomb?
That was a Misty Rainforest.
Oh, Misty Rainforest. Weston.
Giggling. Let's see.
He's going to play show and tell. Oh, leaving up the red. I like it. Show and tell.
We're going for red.
Brainstorm. I mean, you got to figure that there's not a lot of Force of Wills left on either side.
Yeah, but Richard might be just pumping up a Flusterstorm.
Fair enough. Is that a counterspell?
It's a misdirection.
Misdirection. So yes, it is a kind of counterspell.
I'm going to crack our Misty Rainforest here.
And basic island.
Our show and tell still in the stack, waiting for a response from Richard.
2 spells so far. Third spell is another Brainstorm.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Those blanks.
I think one of them is a sneak attack.
Sneak attack's not a blank.
If he gets to take a turn, yeah. Although now Richard again is in, and there's a Flusterstorm for 4.
About 2 more than Weston's got.
Yeah.
Weston counting on the Flusterstorm.
Yeah, we have show and tell, the 2 Brainstorms, and the Flusterstorm itself.
And let's see, 1 mana. He's got a Stifle?
He might have his own Flusterstorm. And he does. So this is pretty awkward targeting.
So
he has to basically Flusterstorm for 5, going like 2, 1, 1, 1.
And
like
then
2 on one of the Flusterstorm copies, 1, 1, 1, 1. And then
Richard pays for 2 of them.
yeah. Yeah, so this, I don't think this works, I think.
Because it doesn't. Well, the ones that he paid for
Are still in the stack.
are still okay, right?
Right.
So I guess it would work if Richard had tapped out, right? Or
Yeah, I
if he
think.
has even 1 open.
Yeah, I think Weston was probably working on the assumption that, you know, yeah, just do it back to
Yeah.
him for more, but it doesn't quite work that
It
way.
looks like a sneak attack, maybe.
Yeah.
Sneak attack, and then Emrakul for 15 is probably going to make Richard Centanni.
Take a picture of this one because this is.
Oh, just Gristlebrand. Oh,
just
big
a
game.
little something for the camera. All right.
All right, Richard Centanni.
Star City Games Las Vegas Legacy Open winner with Sneak and Show. Pretty awesome deck. Corbett Gray would be proud.
I like it.
I like it. It's
it does a lot of the stuff that I think you should be doing in this format.
Yeah, and it's you know, as opposed to the Hive Mind deck that's drawing these packs that don't do anything. I mean, there's really no fat in this deck because there's the Emrakuls and the Gristle
It's a little expensive.